Hi, I'm Alex Fern. I am representing Group 1, and we are doing a project on Aereo. So Aereo is a cloud-based product that allows you to stream live TV over any Wi-Fi accessible device. It offers 50% of the product for 10% of the price, so you'll get any basic cable channels such as CBS, ABC, NBC, but you won't necessarily get premium channels such as NFL Network, Spike TV, MLB Network, any sports-based channels.
Hi, I'm Christine McConnell, and just a little history on Aereo. It was founded in February of 2012 by Chet Kanogia, who also remains as the CEO and owner. It was founded in New York City, and it's a private company. They were backed by the Interactive Corp, IAC, who owns about 150 brands like Ask.com, Tinder, Vimeo, and Match.com. They also are located in New York City, and they basically own applications, e-commerce, media, and online dating sites. And a little bit about Chet Kanogia, he explained that it was very smooth sailing when they started it. It wasn't like other startup companies. They pretty much stayed on schedule, got everything done, and that's why it grew so fast and became so successful right away.
Good. 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Jad Minig, and I'm explaining the technology portion of Aereo. Their biggest emphasis is on mobility and flexibility with their online platform and the streaming. They're very big on having hassle-free distribution of their product. They supplied hundreds of thousands of customers using their antenna system with the switches to change in between their programs. Also, they are held from an old tire factory where they have all of their equipment set up. An analogy on their business model is if a person were to host a party using a pay-per-view television broadcast and were to invite a lot of guests, if that one person that was hosting the party asked for $1 in payment from every guest that attended in order to pay for the fight event maybe, then instead of each person paying individually to watch the same show, they could all chip in for a fraction of the price to watch the same event at a different location from a different source, which is, in this case, Aereo. Aereo is that host, and that is the way that they can provide their customers with a much lower cost. That's it.
Okay.
I was like
Hi, I'm Matt Killian, and I'm going to be representing Aereo as well. I'm going to be talking about this video I'm going to show you and the consumer base behind it.
Fighting the fight. Do you think of yourselves as renegades in that way?
Aereo is so not. I mean, we spend so much time, money, resources in trying to figure out how to comply with the law, right? So that's not renegade. That's like the most compliant child in the room who's going through contortions to figure out how to comply.
There's all kinds of cable channels that you can't get over the air, right? So if eventually your customers start demanding MTV or AMC or HBO, the way that you would provide them is by doing license deals, not building thousands of tiny little antennas.
You know, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I would rather focus on making the customer base that understands the value proposition, which is you for 10% of the price, you get 50% of the value out of the large bundle. And then you have a myriad of other options, whether you rent movies from iTunes, whether you have Netflix for a lot of library shows, a lot of cable shows end up on Netflix. I would rather serve those people than to go recreate the cable bundle, because I just, personally as a consumer, I've never found appropriate balance of value and price in that. That I more and more have sort of concluded, if you can put the consumer in the forefront and say, I'm willing to forego everything else for this particular customer or these sets of customers, you're going to win. you're absolutely going to win. No, irrespective of what they call you or don't call you, you're going to win. The system is set up that nobody cares about these customers. It's purely about creating more and more profits for the companies. And I think that's just, it may be right for them, but it creates an opportunity for a guy like me to come in and say, if I pick up that guy and I just support him, and I just support him to the nth degree, I'll win. He'll make sure I win.
But so, look, I want to know, like, if you prove this model works, and you prove that there's consumer demand for this product, and you prove that the legal precedent for this product to be allowed is there.
I'm going to now summarize what we just watched with the interview with Chet Kanogia. And when he was asked about license deals, he wasn't so sure that Aereo would have to turn to working out license deals with the certain cable packages that you can't get with Aereo services. He is very optimistic about the future of this media sharing and the legalities of how this content will be distributed in the future. He realizes that the best technology will win if the consumer is given an option. He wants to enable cord cutters, which are people who go away from signing contracts with Verizon and Comcast and other big cable providers. His technology is that he can broadcast through antennas to users on a personalized level like never before, and he wants to allow his customer base to save money, and that is the reason and the demand behind Aereo. Like he said, you pay 10% for half of the content that you get with cable providers like Comcast and Verizon. You do miss things like premium channels and sports networks, but there are ways to watch this content and still be a good sports fan and whatnot. In the end, the consumers must be value-driven and willing to get away from the corporations that monopolize this marketplace, which is the media and cable distribution packages that Comcast, Verizon, and other competitors offer. There are 9 major U.S. cities as of 2014 that Aereo offers its services in. 4 of them are Miami, Boston, New York, and Houston. And we chose to let you know about these 4 because it shows you how big of an area that Aereo offers its services to and how popular it did become while it was in use. The typical customer, like I said, they must be value driven. They must have certain niche TV programs that they like that Aereo offers. But really, they're anyone looking to save money and obtain more personalized TV packaging. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeff Schmidt. I'm going to speak about the competition that Aereo faces. Now, we just want to acknowledge that they do compete with Netflix and Hulu and the other internet-based providers. However, we're going to focus on the large cable services and companies such as Xfinity from Comcast, the Verizon Fios, and the Cox Media. These large cable companies have what some think is a monopoly on the industry. They each of them derive more than half of their revenues from their cable subscriptions, and most of their high margin business comes from this cable subscription. In the last 5 years, the sales growth in each of these companies has declined significantly, and we attribute that, and the market attributes that to the new influx of this internet-based providers such as Netflix and Hulu and whatnot. And we think Aereo could be a major player in this market. And moving forward, we think this value-driven model could be a major competitor for these large cable companies moving forward.
Alright, hi, my name is Connor Veit, and I'm here to talk to you about Aereo's plans moving forward. Essentially, going into the month of June this year, there was a major lawsuit brought against them by some of the major cable corporations throughout the United States. And the lawsuit said that Aereo was infringing upon their copyrights, and basically that the service Aereo was providing was illegal. Going into the lawsuit, Chet Kanogia said that his company had no backup plan if they were to lose the lawsuit. On June 25th, they did lose the lawsuit. The court ruled that they did violate copyright agreements. And 3 days later, on the 28th, the company shut down its service. In an interview a few days later, Chet Kanisius said that these two quotes, the first one states that we will continue to fight for our consumers and fight to create innovative technologies that have a meaningful and positive impact on our world. So I guess his plan going forward is just to try to figure out how to work around this lawsuit and to continue to provide some kind of service with Aereo that's legal. And then he came up with another interesting quote that stated, "That begs the question, are we moving towards a permission-based system for technology innovation?" Which I thought was interesting because there's a big debate ongoing about whether or not cable corporations have become too big and they control too much of the media and what's said in just general public discourse. So I thought that was an interesting point by him. And so right now, basically in summation, they don't really have a plan going forward, and they're just trying to figure out how to work around this lawsuit. Alright, so now that we talked about Aereo and what their plan is moving forward, or lack thereof, I guess, we'll go into the questions, discussion questions for the class. The first one I have for you is, are current cable providing companies too large where they control so much market share that it makes it virtually impossible for startup companies in the industry to compete?
My discussion question for the class is that, do you think the major cable companies are going too far in the extreme legal action pursued against Aereo?
Do you think that providing cable channels over the internet should allow Aereo to be labeled by the FCC as a cable service provider?
2, 1, action.
Seeing as all previous courts have sided with Aereo, do you believe that the relative power and influence of big media giants such as CBS and ABC held influence on the Supreme Court's decision?
Our next question is, what are the long-lasting effects on the cable industry as a result of the Supreme Court's decision?
What would the future hold for the big cable companies if a company like Aereo catches on?
Aereo, dude.